Ja, that's open it. This is the much-awaited Anticipatory Action time capsule with a couple of select items from the last decade. Now we will explore it together. So you take the first item?
Yeah, let me see this one. Let's see. It's a heart. A gingerbread heart.
Yes, let's hope
This
it's
to do
not
with
10 years
anticipatory
old.
action.
Yes, I love you.
Right here.
It's about love. We
Love.
heard about emotions earlier today.
I can feel a lot of love for anticipatory action here. But from the beginning.
Say, I come in peace.
And to advise you on how to make climate change, conflict and inequity cease.
Many were suspicious and many feared.
But many sang and many cheered.
Accountants, miners and keepers of zoos.
Generals, presidents and farmers too.
Some of the brightest and some of the smartest.
Scientists, globalists and some street artists.
People from nations far away.
People with dogs and people so grey.
People who care and people who lie.
And people who find it difficult to say goodbye.
Some stood the fire and some bent the knee.
But one thing for sure, no one could agree.
For 1 year they shouted and bleated and cried.
And argued and squabbled and bickered and sighed.
But finally, and here, no one knows
A
why.
decision was made to give it a try.
To stop and to listen to the visitor from afar.
Perhaps there was wisdom in this alien from the stars,
But when they looked at the place they had gone,
leaving only a note that left them forlorn.
but in 500 years I will be.
For a cup of coffee or perhaps some tea.
What will we do without the aliens' advice?
To know what to do would have been so nice.
People were about to embark once again.
In bitter debate and arguments when,
A little girl at the back raised her hand and it said,
hey, but thanks to the alien, we had a good day.
after a year of smoking, with no end in sight,
We found that with compassion and hope, we don't need to fight.
we don't need to quibble or growl or
Or
moan.
mutter or grouse or even throw stones.
Everyone nodded and everyone shook hands.
Everyone agreed and did stunning handstands.
The aliens
As promised,
returned in 500 years.
to rapturous applause and so many cheers.
Climate change, conflict, inequity were things of the past.
So nice to know that some things don't last.
¡Qué bizarro!
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
maalin way noo dhiman tahay labadaas bilood gacanta ku qodaynay iyo haddii aan ku reeyahay gaari gacmo waa uga mahad celinaynaa ee soo gaartay waxaan kala rabnaa
He is now thanking to FAO and other donors for helping them through this.
On what you are asking him, mala kan
irratti baay'ee dalagaa ture kaashii dhaabbata kana waliin dalagaa ture yeroo hedduudhaaf qorichoota garaagaraa ka beelladaa ka biifisa kana irratti hojii bal'aa ammatti waan hedduu dhaabbata kana waliin qoree garaagaraatiin akeekkachiisaa hubannoo garaagaraa.
Mayor periodo de sequía, inundaciones, hemos tenido más huracanes intensos afectando el territorio nacional.
Pues la sequía viene afectando a todos, no solo a una familia, sino que aquí es como digamos a nivel de comunidad y del municipio, digo yo, porque como no está lloviendo en todas partes, entonces aquí
inda sai mun da ya an ƙara irin abubuwan kan zuwa wata ɗin nan to kawai sai ka yankan wuri na kallo ko nuni ya tashi sai mun yi hakuri amma kawai in mun yi noma sai mun yi noman farko mun yi na biyu kawai sai zuwa ta yi da shekara ya gaggarbace ta yi ta rubuta haka tana tasiri su ambaliya ruwa
আমাদের যে বর্তমান খরা পূর্বাভাস যে মৌসুম বা খরা যে চলছে আমাদের আগের তুলনায় এখন অনেক বেড়ে গেছে এই বিষয়গুলো নিয়ে আমরা কৃষকের সঙ্গে সম্পৃক্ত হয়ে বিভিন্ন তথ্য উপাত্ত নিয়ে আমরা তাদের সঙ্গে কাজ করে যাচ্ছি
Las instituciones nos pusimos de acuerdo en lo que fue el sistema de monitoreo de alerta y fue algo que nos ha ayudado bastante porque se ha tomado más cuidado en emitir las alertas para que la ciudadanía pueda creer en ellas.
আপনারা যে পরামর্শটা আমাদের দিবেন আগামী সেই পরামর্শ অনুযায়ী আমরা সেইভাবে ব্যবস্থা করে রাখবো আর কি ওদের যেরকম প্রয়োজনীয় পরিবেশে রাখার দরকার যাতে ক্ষতি না হয় তাহলে তো আমরা উন্নত হবো আর কি এটা রাখার জন্য আমরা খুব চেষ্টা করি বা এরকম সংকেত যদি ভবিষ্যতে আমরা পাই তাহলে আমরা খুবই গর্বিত
Igual yo me siento contenta ver que mi familia pues va aprendiendo cómo es tomar acciones anticipatorias, no solo mi familia, sino también otras personas.
Sur le long évolué, vraiment c'est des actions formidables que vous allez voir. Nous sommes ici à l'antenne de Maradi, l'opération qui nous réunit aujourd'hui, en vue de se rendre sur le terrain, administrer les communautés, recueillir leur, n'est-ce pas, impression, leur vision, en tenant compte vraiment des expériences concluantes, ce qui a marché et ce qui n'a pas marché, en vue vraiment de procéder à une planification ensemble avec ces communautés.
We have come up with a government program of using urea to enrich the stover so that it can be of more use to the animals. They are happy because they are able now to save their animals.
Si anticipamos, estamos previendo que no vayamos a tener una crisis. Nosotros como pueblo y gobierno de San Antonio Flores les agradecemos muchísimo. Nos ha venido hasta despertar más qué podríamos hacer por las otras comunidades.
The advantages in terms of cost saving, huge cost saving in the community, in the government, even in partners. And anticipatory action also assists in terms of building really.
Well, I think, we are still very much at the start. I think only 1% of global humanitarian financing is anticipatory, and I think at minimum 20% of global humanitarian needs are highly predictable, if not even 50. So there is room to grow. And we've heard already this morning that AA is very efficient. And to me, this is about providing, at minimum, the same resources in a more efficient way. So it's not, we're not redirecting funds, we're not taking funds away from anything, we're just pulling humanitarian response forward and doing it in a much more efficient way. So my wish is that we would at least be able to address the crises that are highly predictable through anticipatory humanitarian assistance.
Perfect. And Santiago, Dominic, anything to add? Your wish?
As we increase and expand anticipatory action, which should also be a vehicle for looking more quality, locally led anticipatory action, we should bring also a connection to the other aspects of development work and kind of close that nexus as well.
Okay, and I think from a IFRC perspective, our ambition is to allocate at least 25% of dry funding for anticipatory actions. I think we are on a good track to reach that point, but we are still far behind. So I think the goal is to reach that point.
So enjoy. Sorry, Dominic.
And just to add to Ed's point, that we really equip our local colleagues to have direct access to funding as well, and to have a seat at the table.
Thank you, and I'm handing over. Thanks you to all of you. Enjoy your flowers. Be careful, they might be storms.
against shocks. We have done a lot during this past decade. I have a long list of examples, but for the sake of time, let me start with our global reach. We have now supported the establishment of over 50 anticipatory action protocols in 32 countries. Building on this foundation, in 2024 alone, we have assisted 1.8 million people whose livelihoods are dependent on agriculture. Those examples of support goes from anticipatory actions against floods in Somalia to some examples in other countries where anticipatory action against drought has helped, especially farming communities, protecting their livelihoods and livestock in particular, and helping them increasing, or not only increasing, preserving first the milk from the livestock and increasing the production. And this is crucial also for the nutrition and also for protecting income generating. I think as FAO, in summary, we see AA works, and it allowed FAO to address food insecurity in dozens of countries and protected millions of people from losing their livelihoods, and I think that we're proud of this achievement. Thank you.
Thank you so much. There are also a few other organizations.
We have Abnet from WFP.
I think there are some others working on food.
Yes, there are some others also working on food and
what Abnet wants to tell us.
Thank you. I want to say that WFP Ethiopia since 2021 we are supporting over 240 people through cash delivery, and also above 2 million people through dissemination of early warning message. I want to show you some evidences from the implementation. So while both the treatment and control group were the same level of food security during the baseline, after the delivery of the cash and dissemination of early warning message, our beneficiaries able to maintain their food security, but the control group, they are falling significantly deteriorated. So I wanna read one testimony of our beneficiary from the rangeland rehabilitation. He said, Alhamdulillah, we are now see the results of our work. We are able to grow grasses from our livestock and second for our families. Last night, we had a meal from the sorghum I have harvested. This is from our beneficiaries. Thank you.
Laura for WFP for all your work on addressing food insecurity and for action. Who else do we have?
Not easy to talk about food security following first on Dominic, who presented Wahafa, then FAO and WFP. So I think I'm Matthias from WHH as well, and I maybe go one step beyond our single agencies. We had the chance in the last years to meet from time to time in Rome to think about anticipating food crisis in general with a lot of different agencies who work on that. And one of the results following from that, where we also discussed on how to use acute food insecurity projections and how to link that to triggers, how to think about what the specifics of food security interventions could be, was that then, and I take another hat now as the part of the strategic advisory group of the Global Food Security Cluster, we discussed in the cluster when we came up with a new strategy of the Global Food Security Cluster for 2023 up to 2025, that anticipatory action needs to be front and center in the strategy. So we created one pillar of the Global Food Security Cluster Strategic Plan, that's anticipatory action, and working on that still. And just like some weeks ago when we were in Rome, we said we will continue also in the humanitarian reset, because anticipatory action is one of the answers. So we want to continue to focus the work of the food security cluster around anticipatory action as one of 4 pillars. And that means basically really to see how we can integrate that into the humanitarian program cycle, how we can do a better coordination, and that's something that we have been discussing here a lot. So I'm very proud that we keep doing that on that cluster level and try to integrate it with the humanitarian program cycle.
Yes, anybody else who wants to?
Where we piloted AA this year for the first time in Afghanistan. We funded 23 partners under the same single framework, including food security implementers. And we're very proud that we have 11 national NGOs working under this framework now. And for food insecurity, we assisted about 100,000 people this year. Thank you.
What's your favorite color, Sarah?
This peachy color? Yeah.
This one or this one?
This one right here.
Flower to Ocha from the great work in Afghanistan.
Say for us, the milestone would be 2019 when we partnered with our friends from the Climate Center to develop the first dedicated M&E guidance for anticipatory action, which since then we've consistently used in our activations, and we've pulled all of this together in our recent publication, The Evidence-Based Anticipatory Action Over the 10 Years. You're welcome to check it out. And we also just wanted to mention, made a big step a couple of weeks ago where we published with the World Bank the findings from our impact evaluations from our flood activations in Bangladesh and Nepal. This is probably the most rigorous evidence produced so far, where we used randomized control trials to measure and compare the effect of providing assistance days before a predicted flood to weeks or months receiving the same assistance after the flood event. But just to say that this is a milestone because this evidence is not just for WFP, but it's for all of us to use, to push for more anticipatory action, convince our decision makers, and advocate to our donors.
Thank you so much, Shireen. Very important milestone. And can you please take one for your friends from the Meal Practitioner Group, including the Climate Center. Thank you.
It's been the, having SURF enter the stage of anticipatory action. SURF is the largest humanitarian fund globally, over $500 million, and by design it promotes coordination. No agency can apply individually. Partners must agree on a joint strategy, a collective prioritization, and the humanitarian coordinators are ultimately accountable for the overall performance. So that creates a really powerful incentive to come together. And we call this SURF's convening power. When SURF is on the table, people show up. But there's an important evolution because coordination doesn't stop where SURF stops. And today we're building frameworks in countries where SURF is not present, or where SURF is not providing funding, or where SURF is just one part of the puzzle. And we have various other funding tools that contribute to this coordination as well, obviously. START has similar setup where multiple NGOs come together to also have a coordinated initiative. We have now also brought on, as OCHA, the country funds and regional funds that provide funding directly to national partners, including local NGOs and local Red Cross and Red Crescent societies. And governments themselves are also putting money on the table. And increasingly, we're trying to get climate finance and development finance to join these things as well. So what does that tell us? That, coordination is not just about money, but it's about incentives and trust. SURF created an initial incentive, but sustaining and expanding that coordination.
In life, that was my grandfather calling me. Anyhow, yes, the Climate Center has been part of the team that synthesizes the research that has been done. A lot of it has been done by various organizations, so I'll be broadly speaking to that research and not necessarily and only what we have contributed to. So as part of that, my colleague Clemens, who is also the co-chair for the Meal Working Group, is currently looking at the evidence that we have around the effectiveness of anticipatory action, and we are doing this also as part of the HUB initiative as well. And so he's been able to look at around 35 studies, and these studies have been done by FAO, by WFP, and of course by the Red Cross, as we're looking at how effective anticipatory action has been over the years. And again, this is just part of the evidence out there and not everything. And of course, the research that the evidence is showing us some good positive feedback in terms of the impacts and how effective AA is. And I think all of us here, we are more or less past the line of proving proof of concept. Now we are looking at how can we do anticipatory action better. And broadly, the evidence is good on food security.
And leads the resilience and climate action and anticipatory action portfolio across Bangladesh country office. Welcome on stage. Nigar, the Bangladesh country office implemented the first AA pilot and has since made enormous progress with the most recent activation for floods being the largest implemented by WFP globally so far. Could you highlight the key developments leading to this success, please?
Thank you very much. Yes, I think 2024 was very significant for WFP and also other co-partners who are implementing anticipatory action in Bangladesh. Because we actually, back in 2015-16, we started our anticipatory action in one district. So from one district to around 25 districts at this moment, we are implementing anticipatory action. From 4,000 people to 500,000 households are under anticipatory action. And also from, I would say, to anticipatory action, early action protocol for flood and cyclone, we are at this moment developing more than 8 early action protocols, and these are actually happening under the leadership of government, Ministry of Disaster Management and Relief. So it's actually very happy moment for us, and we are not stopping there. WFP and Bangladesh Red Crescent Society, we are jointly co-leading Anticipatory Action Technical Working Group, and this technical working group actually supporting MODMR to implement anticipatory action under the leadership of Anticipatory Action Task Force. This is the government-led task force, and it's actually a legal body formed based on the standing order on this National Standing Order on Disaster back in 2019. We started anticipatory action as a standalone program in 2015, but now from 2023 we are linking this anticipatory action with the social protection program. You know, Bangladesh government has more than 200 social protection program, and 20 million people are actually covered under this social protection program. And the system is not flexible enough to support people in the disaster, during disaster. So WFP and other partner organizations, we are jointly working to link this anticipatory action with the social protection program to implement the shock responsive, to make this safety net program shock responsive. And I'm very happy to share with you as well. So based on the learning we have from anticipatory action, Bangladesh government, Ministry of Finance, they are developing their first ever macro insurance product to cover the people who are registered under anticipatory action program. So this is one. This is actually risk layering approach they are targeting. So people who are receiving support from anticipatory action, 100,000 household, they will also receive support from the climate risk insurance. So these are from government level. They are actually taking lead on this, and we are happy to share this progresses with the global audience.
Thank you very much for the great achievement of Bangladesh country office, WFE country office in that. So since the country office, you have anticipated your AAP for both floods and cyclones multiple times over the past years. What have been the major repetitive operational challenges you had to overcome to ensure very successful recent AA implementation in the country?
So we started with flood, then we activated, we designed our early action protocol for cyclone, and we activated both in 2024. So the biggest challenge that we faced was sharing the data among the stakeholders. We based on our SURF first pilot in Bangladesh 2020, we saw that if one household received multiple support from different organizations for different sectors, their impact is actually much higher than receiving only one support. So based on that outcome or impact, we wanted to develop a common beneficiary database, and we actually developed that. But due to the challenges that we face for having this data sharing agreement, we could not share this data previously. So that's the biggest challenge we faced. But successfully this year we sorted this out, and we will be sharing this data among the UN agencies. Also, we are having a data sharing agreement with government to receive government data. We just need to see how we can share this common beneficiary data among the other stakeholders who are not part of the UN and also government. So these are this is one of the biggest challenge we face. And another one is Bangladesh government. We have Bangladesh government has disaster management fund, central fund, and also district level fund. But this fund is actually developed based on the Disaster Management Act in 2012, but these funds are not flexible enough. So local government, even if they experience localized hazard, they are not able to share, activate their DM fund. So these are the challenges still there, and hopefully we will be able to overcome next.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Michelle. Okay. Coming off of your experience in Bangladesh, we'd like to thank you so much for sharing with us all your experience. We would like to go a little bit further and just make sure we touch a little bit on the last mile. So we would like to invite Anna Farina, who is head of crisis anticipation and risk finance at START Network. Anna is leading efforts to design and scale systems that